Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to unpack a genuinely brilliant, mind-bending philosophical framework known as Qi We're going to take this incredibly profound ancient wisdom and make it totally concrete, completely practical for everyday life. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer crazy complexity of the world around you, well, you are absolutely in the right place, because this framework, it doesn't just describe reality, it breaks down the exact operational mechanism of how our minds construct and experience the world. It's a real game changer. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered if the chaotic waves of life share the exact same essence as the calmest ocean? Seriously, think about your daily reality for a second. It's often noisy, unpredictable, and sometimes, let's be honest, downright chaotic. But what if all that noise isn't actually separate from a state of perfect, undisturbed tranquility? What if the stress of your morning commute and the deepest peace of meditation are literally made of the exact same substance? That is the incredible proposition we are looking at today. The ancient text, the Zhongjing Lu, answers this with a profound realization. It states, "One mind totally contains all myriad things, and all myriad things are not different from the one mind." This sets the stage beautifully for us. The source text suggests that there isn't a physical world out there and a separate spiritual world in here. Nope. Instead, there is only the one mind. It's the ultimate serene source of absolutely all phenomena. Every physical object, every passing thought, every single event is contained within this one mind. Nothing is fundamentally different from it. So, let's start decoding the mechanism of Qi. How does this actually work? The first piece of this mechanism is Ti, which translates to essence. According to the text, Ti is the ultimate, unchanging foundation. It is the deep, pure reality of the mind. You can think of it like the bedrock of all existence. No matter what happens on the surface of your life, the triumphs, the failures, the joy, or the sorrow, this underlying essence remains perfectly tranquil, vast, and completely unchanged. It is the deep, unmoving reality that serves as the foundation for everything else. But here's the catch. This essence isn't just an empty, boring void. It inherently possesses sheng, or attributes. Sheng refers to the inherent, pure characteristics and magnificent qualities that exist naturally within that unchanging essence. The text describes these as the inherent potential resting right there within the unmoving foundation. If Ti is the bedrock, Sheng represents the beautiful, infinite potential and natural properties embedded right into that rock, just waiting to be expressed. And finally, we arrive at the third part, Yang, which means function. Function is the dynamic, visible manifestations, the actions, and even the chaotic uses we experience out there in the physical world. This is the world we interact with every single day. It's the traffic jams, the deep conversations, the objects you touch, the work you do. Yang is the active outward expression of that deep essence and its attributes. How these three Ti, Xiang, and Yang operate together is the true secret to understanding reality. Now, let's move to the analogy of the water and the waves. What's really interesting here is how it makes the abstract totally concrete. The Zhongjing Lu maps this entire philosophy perfectly to water. In this beautiful metaphor, the Ti, or essence, is simply the pure wetness. That is the unchangeable, fundamental nature of water, right? The Shang, the attributes, are described in the text as the 8 merits of water. Things like its crystal clarity, its coolness, its ability to nourish life. And then we have Yang, the function. What is the active function of water? Well, it's the crashing waves, the little ripples on a pond, its ability to reflect images. This perfectly illustrates the core lesson: water and waves are not separate. They are one entity. You cannot have a wave without wetness. The chaotic, crashing wave, which represents our noisy daily life, the Yang, is made entirely, 100% of the tranquil, pure wetness, the Ti. The source material is completely emphatic about this non-duality. The chaos you experience isn't some illusion you need to discard, it's the very manifestation of the ultimate essence. Let's look at another classic analogy from the text: gold and golden ornaments. Mapping these concepts again to make sure it really clicks, the Ti, the essence, is true gold, the unchangeable raw element itself. The Xiang, the attributes, are the pure luster and the malleability inherent in that gold. And the Yang, the function, is the specific carved vessel or ornament that a craftsman shapes the gold into, like a ring, a shining coin, or a statue. A ring looks very different from a coin, right? Just like a crashing wave looks different from a still pond, but both are fundamentally just true gold. This leads to this absolutely brilliant realization in the text. If you only point to the gold, you lose the vessel. If you only point to the vessel, you lose the gold. Think about what that means. If you obsess only over the ultimate truth, the essence, you become totally detached and ignore the beautiful, practical reality of daily life, the vessel. But on the flip side, if you only focus on the material world, just the vessel, you forget the profound, enduring essence that actually makes it up. You miss the ultimate truth of reality. They absolutely must be viewed as one seamlessly integrated whole. This brings us to a massive concept in the text, the two gates of reality. So the crucial point is this. On one side, we have the gate of true suchness. This represents viewing reality through the lens of T, the unmoving, absolute, and pure essence, where nothing ever really changes. On the exact other side, we have the gate of arising and ceasing. This is viewing reality through the lens of Yang, the dynamic, ever-changing worldly function, where things are born, they change, and they eventually pass away. But the text insists these aren't two different places. No way. They're just two different perspectives of the exact same mind. This leads to what is, honestly, a beautifully profound paradox. The pure nature follows defilement to become the mundane world, yet its essence remains forever pure. The source text explains that the true mind actually takes on the shape of our messy, defiled, everyday world. It becomes the rings, the coins, the crashing waves. Yet, just as a gold ring doesn't somehow stop being pure gold just because it's shaped like a ring, your fundamental nature is never actually stained or diminished by the chaos of the world. It is always pure.
So, how do we use this? Let's talk about returning to the source.
Let's see how this builds and how we actually walk backward from the illusion of daily life to the reality of the one mind. It starts with step 1, observe the function. When you feel stressed out, just observe the chaotic, visible world around you, the loud noises, the busy schedules. Acknowledge the wave. Step 2, recognize the attributes. Look a little closer and see the underlying nature of these phenomena. Realize that they are just temporary shapes. And finally, step 3, realize the essence. Understand that beneath it all is the tranquil, indivisible one mind. You are looking at the wetness of the water, you are looking at the true gold. And because function and essence are truly completely one, the source text leaves us with this incredibly empowering thought. Every single step in the mundane, noisy world is entirely within the Tao. You don't need to run away to some silent, remote mountaintop to find enlightenment or peace. Because the crashing wave is literally made of water and the ornamental vessel is made of gold, the chaos of your daily life is built entirely out of ultimate tranquility. The profound truth is right here, smack in the middle of the noise. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this. How will your perception of daily life change, knowing that the chaotic waves are nothing but pure water? The next time you find yourself caught up in the stress and turbulence of the day, remember the operational mechanism of T-Sheng-Yang. You don't have to fight the waves, you just have to remember what they're made of. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this incredible source text, and hey, keep seeking the essence in everything you do.